The bell tolls. The midnight hour is upon us. It's time once again for two internet strangers to discuss the good and evil of the horror genre. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the terror within the Hallow-Holics Anonymous podcast.
So between now and 2 episodes ago, where I rapidly edited 2 episodes and threw them up probably within the span of a week. I don't know if I did, honestly. It's premature. I haven't even finished them. A lot of things have happened.
Yeah, quite a bit. Most of them great.
Yeah. Oh boy.
JK, LOL, it's all been bad. Everything is bad.
The world is an awful, awful place.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than talk about horror films this week, we're going to go pretty unstructured here, just hang out, chat, and we decided to just pick some movies we felt like watching. Mine was UHF.
Mine was Can't Hardly Wait, and I've destroyed my childhood. My sense of nostalgia is forever bruised and broken, but we'll get to that.
Oh god, Seth Green's voice.
Oh,
for that character.
Maddy, why you gotta waste his flavor? I can't even do it without like melting in my chair.
Collectively, as a society, we had agreed to forget there was that period where white male teenagers were trying too hard, and now I remember.
That's actually, that's when we get to it, that's part of what I want to read from the Ebert review.
Okay. Well.
It's really fun the way he says it.
Do you want to talk about anything before we launch, or we want to just go straight for the jugular?
I think we can just go straight. I don't have anything. There was no... I don't think there was a horror pack. No, that usually happens in the 20s, and it's not the 20s yet, it's the 10s. Oh. I don't think you care about the gun stuff I get every month, so... No,
I do not.
Yeah.
But my roommate did just get a really nice gun she was proud of, so...
Ooh, what'd you get?
It's like, it looks like a Dirty Harry gun.
I don't know why I asked you what kind it was. Next time I talk to her, remind me to talk to her about guns.
There's like a magazine clip that goes in it.
It's not a Dirty Harry gun if it's got a magazine.
Oh. Well,
Dirty Harry's gun was a .44 Magnum revolver.
It's some kind of Magnum thingy, I think. She said the recoil's good. I don't know.
I'll talk to her about it.
Okay.
I do love that, like, considering, like, I mean, it's the same thing for me in Western Pennsylvania. Like, you're a progressive, but you're in Texas, so you are around guns. Like, I am a progressive, I am in Pennsylvania, so I am around guns. You know what I mean?
There's 3 things I don't know anything about. Sports, guns, and cars.
I don't know anything about sports. I know a little bit about cars, and I know, like, a passable amount about guns. I'm not a great shot, though. I'm an okay shot. So, we're already way off the rails. Awesome.
So let's start on UHF.
Listen, let's get one thing straight. Guns don't kill people.
Oh my god.
Channel 62
totally
has
didn't
the
do that on
lowest
purpose.
ratings in the history of television. What they need is a new station manager.
No, not him. Forget it. No way.
Oh god, every time I hear that theme, I get so happy.
A man of courage. A man of vision.
I just love
What's
Weird
your
Al.
name? Billy. Billy what?
What they get is a man so desperate
so aggressive
he'll
when that
put
kid spits
anyone
on
on
it.
the
I
air.
know.
Hey, Stanley.
Yeah, George?
How would you like your own
You know,
TV
the guy
show?
playing the cameraman was also in the...
You get the drink from...
He was what?
He was also in the Flat music video, the cameraman. And I think he had a sandwich in that one, too.
He's Conan, the librarian.
Today we're teaching poodles how to fly.
God, this is terrible.
George Newman.
I already forgot about
starts
that.
where the others stop.
We're the #1 station in town.
Orion Pictures presents Weird Al Yankovic in UHF, the movie.
Before we start, I have to say one thing. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, Weird Al hates dogs. Like, the funniest. The entire movie is hilarious to me. It has been since I saw it when I was a little kid. But the funniest part every time I watch this movie is when he just throws the dog in the punch bowl. I don't know why that, but every time I watch that, like, it makes me laugh till my face hurts.
There's, like, something awful and funny about, like, dog abuse jokes in movies sometimes. I'm not saying we should abuse a dog for laughs, but if it's a stuffed dog, I'm okay with it.
Right. If it's obviously bullshit, like if it's obviously like cartoon violence, I'm okay with it. Like that dog in Keanu Reeves shooting movie, John Wick. Yeah, I can't handle that. Like stuff like that, I can't handle. But like a dude throwing poodles out a window is hilarious to me.
There was a great like 60s or 70s movie with. Why does his name escape me right now? But he's in Mary Poppins.
Dick Van Dyke is an old actor. I don't know.
Yeah,
did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
I totally just guessed that for no reason.
Yeah, there was this great movie about this like cute little town that was like perfect in every way except everybody chain smoked. And they wanted a big company to come to town for jobs and everything. So they all decided collectively to... no, they didn't want a big company to come to town. They wanted to win a big prize. And they all collectively decided they were going to stop smoking. And the perfect town started to become very, very angry and mean and hateful. Because they couldn't smoke. And there's one point where you see a guy walking on the street and you just see his foot and you see a cute little dog. And then it just punts it. And it's like, ah! And the dog flies. And the comic timing was perfect.
Wait, I've got, like, that town was about, like, it's a real town, right?
I don't know if it's a real town. It was just a comedy movie I saw.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, please do, because
It's called Cold Turkey. It was 1971.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Hold on. Lucy, stop it.
She just wants to help. I'm just kidding. She doesn't want to help at all. She wants to ruin our night.
Speaking of funny dog injuries, the other day she was zooming around my apartment, and she was going too fast, and she ran into the table, and she was like, and then she started running again.
That's my favorite thing in the world, when dogs run into stuff. Because it's so embarrassing for them. It's great.
Welcome to Hallow-Holics, where we reflect on our favorite animal violence.
Yes.
Moments. It's kind of like America's Funniest Home Videos, but we hyper-focus on when the dog gets hurt and the video that they probably rejected for airing on live television.
Yeah, tonight we're going to do a deep dive podcast on dog horror. It's all deep dive podcasts from now on.
So, UHF is about a guy who can't hold a steady job because he can't focus on anything and has really weird fantasies.
He's a creative, Maddy.
Oh, he's a creative, so therefore he's incapable of holding a job. Which is, not like people with theater degrees end up working retail for the rest of their lives.
Hey, I have a theater degree, and I'm making an almost livable wage. And only having to have 2 other jobs.
Anyway, the point being, he can't hold a job until his uncle's like, hey, I got this television station. Why don't you run it and get out of my hair? So he does.
I want it in a poker game.
Yeah.
What's the poker?
He finds his passion. Programming small cable access television shows. I'm kind of trailing.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. You can find us on Twitter at...
He just runs a TV station. It's a good framing structure to show some of his parody work.
Mm-hmm. And just in general, insanity.
With that being said, I'd like to invite our old friend Roger Ebert onto the air. Go ahead, sit down, Roger. Tell us what you thought about this movie.
Where did it go?
It's on the chat, Roger.
Yeah, I know. I have to. I'm really bad at that, though. Hold on. All right. I don't remember my Ebert voice. You tell me when I do it. Oh, it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. Just do a voice.
Somewhere there's an audience for UHF. I have no doubt.
Why are you always British?
I'm not British. I'm fancy. This is how fancy people sound.
Okay,
I don't know. What do you want me to... Somewhere there is an audience for UHF. I have no doubt. Is that better?
You sound more like Stephen King, but keep going.
Okay. And somewhere this weekend, someone may laugh at some of its attempts at humor. Weird Al Yankovic has had a lot of success with his parodies, songs, and music videos spinning off of Michael Jackson and other easy targets. But this is the dreariest comedy in many a month, a depressing slog through recycled comic formulas. Those who laugh at UHF should inspire our admiration. In these dreary times, we must treasure the easily amused. What an asshole he is.
I know, he really is. He's pretty much saying, if you like this movie, you're dumb.
And who goes after Weird Al Yankovic? He's one of, like, I looked up controversies because I wanted to talk about something that was like...
Oh, I've got a controversy.
I didn't find it. That's what I'm saying. He is such, like, he's like a national treasure. He's just a decent dude.
He is. Who doesn't love him?
I don't know. I'm very disappointed in you, Ebert.
Did you see the one where, the video where he's murdered American Psycho style by, Huey Lewis?
Wait, what?
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. We're going to have to put the podcast on hold because you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Huey Lewis murders Weird Al. You haven't seen that video?
No.
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, hold on. You're going to love it. Sorry, you had to see it.
Yeah, no doubt. So much Funny or Die stuff I just missed. It just must not have been my thing in the 10s. I love that Weird Al's in a place where he can just do whatever he wants now. Like, I think I told you this the other day that he just did, an episode of Auntie Donna's House of Fun on Netflix.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that.
A girl I went to college with, did I go to college? No. A girl who was in college while I was working for the same college. She dressed up as the Sun and beat Weird Al up. It was so surreal. But yeah, I just really dig that he just kind of does whatever he wants now.
Yeah. I wish he could have when he was younger, when he was building his career, just because he's just likable. He's a good guy. Which is probably one reason I really love UHF. It's like one of the very few feature films he's been in, and as far as I know, the only one that he starred in, if you don't count his fake documentary. And he's not especially clean, but he's always good-natured, and sometimes I just don't want mean comedy.
Yeah, I agree. There's, like, through everything he does, like his music, his videos, this movie, there's just this innocence and, like, good nature about him that even stuff like Emo Phillips violently, like, sawing his own finger off accidentally and spraying blood all over Weird Al is totally, like, I don't even consider that gore because it's number one cartoony, but it comes from this place of innocence that is just so fun and ridiculous. Like, oh, I love the man.
Now, I will admit, the Conan the Librarian bit is a little, like, graphic. When he
right, because he cuts that...
off.
Yeah, I forgot he cut that dude in half down the middle.
Actually, when it airs on Comedy Central, or when it has, they cut that bit out, and most of the animal cruelty jokes.
Oh.
Yeah, they cut the violence down a lot on the Comedy Central one, so I can only imagine they probably cut down his little Rambo thing, too.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. The first time I ever actually saw UHF was on, like, a public access channel when I was a kid. It was, like, on just, like, this hazy little staticky public access channel. I caught it, like, 20 minutes in, and I was just mesmerized. It was the perfect way to watch it.
I think I probably caught it on HBO in, like, when did it even come out? 89. Yeah, I probably caught it on HBO in the early 90s. I mean, I may even have rented it when it came out on video, for all I remember. But I was really young. It
was made in 89. It was supposed to be released, I think, around 91, 92. But it didn't get any, it didn't get a budget for publicity because that was also when Orion Pictures folded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And in fact, I think it only maybe got one VHS release before pretty much it was in limbo for about a decade.
Yeah, but that's not so weird for back then. Like, movies didn't really... When did I start really heavily collecting VHS? Like, even in, like, 95, 96, when we'd look to buy certain movies, like, if it was hard to find, like, you could pay upwards of, like, 100... Like, Cemetery Man on VHS back in the day. It's my all-time favorite movie. When it came out on VHS, when we found it, like, we looked for a copy of it to buy, and it was, like, $100 or something crazy like that.
Oh, man. I guess
so like VHS,
we should have held on to it.
Yeah, seriously. But no, like, I think that's how it worked. Like, VHSs were sold as, like, prices to rental places. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that could have something to do with it being hard to find. I did own it on DVD for a long time.
Now, briefly, you did mention you couldn't find any controversy, right?
Yeah, but I didn't look really hard. I just Googled it while we were talking.
Yeah,
I meant to do it the other day.
Your mistake was looking for controversy in Weird Al.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted to see if he had any dirt, you know?
I hate to bring it up because I actually do really like him, but Michael Richards.
Oh, yeah. But that doesn't count as Weird Al stuff.
No, it doesn't.
Just because Michael Richards is a racist dirtbag.
I think it's a shame he destroyed his own career because he lost his temper. I don't know if that was his real self or that was just his anger trying to lash out and hurt someone as much as he could.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever know.
But I just feel bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because he's kind of in the same, like, I'd put him in the same boat. I'd put, like, Weird Al, Emo Phillips, even Victoria. Wait, is it Victoria Sweeney? Is that who plays his girlfriend in this?
Victoria Jackson.
Victoria Jackson. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're all, like, their type of comedy is this goofy sort of innocence, you know what I mean? And he completely ruined his brand when he went off on that racist tirade, and it sucks.
You know, he's had a few, like, he poked fun at himself in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm I'd recommend checking out. And, there's an episode where he was with Jerry Seinfeld in Coffee with Comedians or something.
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah, and he talked about how he still regretted it, you know, to that day, that what he had done, and he acknowledged it. He just seems really broken, really sad, and I don't know. I think we all make mistakes, maybe not as big as that one, but... You know,
I think so too. It's really hard for me to look at him any other way, especially in the political climate we're in now. You know, not that this happened recently. It's been like a decade?
Yeah.
Since he did that. Yeah, but it's still really hard for me. Like, one racist tirade. I mean, that's pretty much it with me. You know, like you don't come back from that with me.
Oh, to be fair, like no, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be his friend after something like that. But
Right.
I don't know. I think I just wish he hadn't done it. Because he's still likable in this movie, and still when you look back at Seinfeld, you know, you enjoy him as Kramer.
Oh yeah, he's the best part of Seinfeld to me. It looks like he's still working though. He
retired for a while and he came back in like 06 or something.
Yeah, he had he was on a TV series called Kirstie. I assume that would be Kirstie Alley's TV series. I don't know. And that was in 2013, 2014. He did a movie called Faith, Hope, and Love in 2019. So but that's it. Like,
well, I remember
there's
when
a
the
gap.
Controversy happened, like he was just getting started on a comedy show that was actually doing pretty well, but then they pulled it.
Was it the Michael Richards show?
I don't know. I think he was like a PI or something.
Oh, okay. I don't even know when that happened. I'm going to jump into his trivia real quick.
But this isn't really an episode about Michael Richards so much as it is about UHF, but I felt like we had to touch on that just a tiny bit.
Yeah. Now I'm just curious about when he pulled his little blow up.
When they tried to shop around to find a studio or a production company to produce this one, pretty much nobody wanted to touch it. They all thought it was stupid, it wasn't worth their time. But once they pitched it to Orion, and they said they could keep it under $5 million, Orion picked it up, and they were like, hell yeah. I think the main guy in charge actually really loved the script, and Weird Al and his friend, who ended up being the director and co-writer, Jay Levy, was absolutely shocked.
Yeah, he directed a bunch of Weird Al's videos too, didn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The original concept title Weird Al had for the movie was Vidiot, but the studio changed it for international release to Vidiot from UHF to relate it to the UHF concept. And now we know it as just UHF, but Weird Al actually hates the title Vidiot from UHF and UHF because it wasn't really a thing outside of North America, so he didn't feel like people would get what UHF meant.
Yeah, especially now. Like, is UHF band still even a thing in TV?
I think after they switched away from analog, it pretty much became nothing.
Oh yeah, because there's no over-the-air TV anymore. There's only digital signals. So yeah, I forgot about that little changeover.
It's a shame, but I mean, I guess the trade-off is better quality. I'm not sure. I didn't notice a major difference.
Oh yeah.
Now the actor and comedian who played Raul, who's the guy who throws the poodles out the window in this, his name was Trinidad Silva, and he was killed by a drunk driver before the production wrapped. There was actually supposed to be... Yeah, it's pretty tragic, actually. He wasn't too old. He was like in his 40s or 50s.
That sucks.
Yeah, and there was supposed to be a final sequence with his character where the poodles got revenge and Fifi flew back in through the window and they all like mobbed him, but because he had passed away, they couldn't record it with him, and they tried it with another actor with a suit and everything and covered his face, but they decided ultimately not to keep the sequence. And the film at the end is actually dedicated to the memory of Trinidad Silva. But what's weird is IMDb classifies that as a crazy credits fact, because I guess memorial credits are the thing. Crazy credits. I'm not sure if they called it that.
That's wacky. Dedicating a movie to a dead guy. It's crazy.
Weird Al. Oh, you.
Not to go back to it, but it was 2006 that Michael Richards did his thing, which is crazy because I thought it was like 2010, 11.
And then they came back. He came back in what, 14?
Well, he did some stuff in like 2009. Let me go back. So yeah, B-Movie was released in 2007, but that was obviously filmed before, released after, I would imagine. He did Curb Your Enthusiasm in 2009. He did a movie called Walk the Light in 2013. He did Kirstie in 2013-14. So yeah, he took a pretty big break there. Like 3-4 years. Anyway, death and racism. This can't be all UHF is.
I know. How did we
get
turn
back to
this
the
so dark?
fun
It's supposed
stuff.
to be an innocent, cute movie. Okay, I got a good fact for you. Spatula City, one of the fun little skits in it, is about a family who needs to get some spatulas, so they go to the biggest spatula warehouse in the world.
Spatula City!
Spatula City! Spatula City!
Spatula City!
For all your spatula needs. They only sell spatulas. And they actually made a Spatula City billboard. That's a real billboard. They bought it, they had the artwork done, they paid, they left it up for months. And then local businesses got really mad because people kept asking about Spatula City, so eventually they had to take it down.
I don't even think that those are spatulas. If I remember my junior high cooking class...
No, those are spatulas.
A spatula is not that.
No, yes they are.
No, I'm well...
There are different types of spatulas, but those are spatulas.
A spatula in cooking is a flat object often made of rubber or metal meant to spread, mix, or lift food. A flipper or turner are flat objects usually made of metal or plastic designed to slide under a piece of food in a pan or on a grill. Here, I'm going to... So a spatula looks like... Yes, we are. A spatula looks like a big-ass butter knife. Sort of. Yes, it does.
No, a flipper doesn't have any holes in it.
No. I don't know. I just know what I learned in junior high.
Uh-huh.
And a spatula is like a giant butter knife looking thing, sort of. It's like a symmetrical butter.
If you go by common vernacular, I would say the definition of the spatula has grown to encompass both forms, because that's what everyone calls it when they're in the kitchen. They don't say...
Well, I don't go by common vernacular. I go by facts, Maddy.
Oh, you deep dive into your color.
Exactly. I deep dive into culinary utensils. See, this just proves a quote in UHF. That broads don't belong in broadcasting, Maddy.
Well,
if it's a podcast, are we broadcasting? Is that what?
Broadcast. That would be a great podcast name.
I'm sure it's taken.
Oh. Probably about people talking about broadcasting, not in the pun sense.
It's probably women talking about women things.
Or like New York.
So Sex and the City?
No, I'm pretty sure they're talking about sex and the city.
Ugh. Spatula City!
There's a song that's kind of like, there's only a few seconds of it in this movie, but you hear it and it's very memorable. When the uncle is by the pool and he gets a call from a mob boss to call in his debts, he's listening to a song called Let Me Be Your Hog. It's Weird Al going, "Let me be your hog," over and over again.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. He wrote it just for this movie because he couldn't get the rights to the song he wanted to play on the radio, which was Kung Fu Fighting. But I guess having music as like something that's on the radio.
It's probably funnier this way too.
Yeah. The movie is like just a compilation of a bunch of dumb, over-the-top, Naked Gun style jokes and gags. They don't quite go as far as Naked Gun, but they get pretty close, especially at one point when his cheek is being pinched at a party and she pulls his skin away.
Oh yeah, that was very Leslie Nielsen.
Mm-hmm. You know, there was a Wheel of Fish sequence in this, right? The fish on that wheel were real, and they were fresh in the morning at 6 a.m. when they were actually nailed into the board. Several hours later, under the lamps and surrounded by over 100 extras, they weren't so fresh anymore, so it was pretty miserable to film that sequence.
Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider how gross that would be.
I've heard that filming Willy Wonka in the 70s, they had this similar issue with the chocolate. It smelled awful. In Tommy, when she's rolling around in the beans and chocolate, or what it's supposed to be in beans and chocolate, apparently it was hot that day and it smelled awful. So a lot of stories of people working with food products in movies in weird ways and it being absolutely miserable.
Yeah, that happened on Day of the Dead too. When who's the dude that screams, "I'm running this monkey farm, Frankenstein," or whatever he says there?
I don't remember.
That dude, you remember how he gets ripped in half at the end and those guts fall out?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Day of the Dead, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they use
the guy
real
who passed
meat.
away, right?
I don't know. Did he pass away? I met him once. He's creepy. Maybe he's dead.
Yeah. We talked about that when I told you he had died once.
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah, he's dead. And he was creepy. Anyway, like, they used real meat for that. And he said that it got super gross as the day went on.
I wonder what it was like filming the gore sequences in Dead Alive. That had to have smelled bad.
Oh, depending on what they used, I'm sure it did.
In the Beverly Hills song, Mark Knopfler of the Dire Straits actually insisted on playing the guitar for it.
Mm-hmm.
And his band's lawyer demanded the song be called Beverly Hillbillies Slash Money for Nothing as a result. Al wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, I actually knew that from watching his documentary back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he talks about that. Lucy is bad today.
She's a very bad girl. Burrows under her covers, looks cute, and then when someone moves, it goes
It's on.
And those are most of my notes for UHF, honestly. It's just a fun, dumb movie. A good way to pass your weekend, hang out with friends. You don't have to pay attention to it. If you like movies like Kentucky Fried Movie or Amazon Women on the Moon, any of those kinds of films, you'll fit right in with UHF.
Or if you want something to watch when, like, kids are in the room, this is kind of okay.
Yeah, as long as they're not too sentimental about their dogs.
Right. What the hell was that?
And the original cut before they had to cut it down for release was like 2.5 hours. And people are apparently always asking Weird Al, if they'll ever get a director's cut. And he's like, guys, we cut it down to like 70 or 90 minutes because the pacing was really bad. There's a reason that stuff ended up on the cutting room floor.
Oh, man, I don't even care. I would watch 2.5 hours of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would too. Just out of curiosity.
Not out of curiosity, out of how wonderful it is.
Mm-hmm. But you will admit, the pacing is actually really, oddly sharp and quick in this. So
that's true.
It might have been because it was a hack job on the editing. So.
Oh, I have a note here that says, so Weird Al murders a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah, 20 people or something?
I don't know. But the reason I wrote it was because I forgot that the scene where he's Rambo isn't actually him doing those things.
No.
So I had it in my head from the last time I watched it that Weird Al just hallucinated himself as Rambo and murdered a bunch of mob guys, but he didn't do that.
That would be funny if he did.
So Dr. Demento's in this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he is the, oh God, I can't read my note. All right, I'm going to read it what it looks like it says. See if you can translate it. Dr. Demento is Hapu Chicken Leafing Man. Oh, Dr. Demento is Whipped Cream Eating Man.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to translate a whoop with chicken. I
didn't give you much to work with.
Well, how much were you drinking?
A lot. A lot. It's been a difficult couple of weeks. Do you think that they could do a sequel to this now? And incorporate, do you think he would have a YouTube channel or a TikTok, and do you think that would work in any way?
I don't know. They'd have to come up with a new storyline entirely. They couldn't just, they couldn't palette swap the storyline and have another big company fighting him, because media doesn't work that way anymore. Too many people have their own little corner on the internet. It wouldn't be an underdog story anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it needs to be. I think it can be a sort of redemption arc. I think what can happen is he lost his station when everything went digital, and he couldn't afford to do the switch over. So for a while he waffled a little bit. Maybe him and his girlfriend broke up or got divorced this time or something. I know I'm getting dark, but I'm not going to stay there. And him and his friend decide to start a YouTube channel, and it could be all about doing what he does, but like YouTube demonetizing him. You know, he could do like an adpocalypse thing. I don't know if it'd be good, but I think there would be a way to do it. And I just want to see more Weird Al again.
I think so. Yeah.
Because like I had sort of forgotten this until I watched it the other day, but Weird Al was a huge part of my childhood.
Mine too.
Like, I got into punk rock and music like that. Like, when I got into punk, like, that sort of, like, sent me down the road to who I am today. Punk and horror, both of those things did that. But I didn't know about punk rock until I think it's the cover of his album Polka Party, maybe, where it's, like, just a bunch of, like, punk kids, like, destroying this living room, and, like, somebody's got an accordion. I think it's him, I forget. But I'm like, wow, look at those dudes and their weird hair. I need to learn more about this. And that was like my first sort of introduction to that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love Weird Al. I've been on a Weird Al kick for 2 weeks now, and it'll probably keep going for a while.
We didn't have much cable when I was really little, but we did have MTV, so when there was music. I do remember like cherishing the Weird Al music videos when they came on, because when you're a small child, you need things to be hyper funny or silly to keep your attention for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Weird Al kind of fit that. He fit that little spot, I guess.
God, this is making me feel old. Like, I remember when the music video for Fat released, like, me and my brother, like, when we found out it was going to be on, because, like, I can't remember if we saw it the first time, but we saw it really, really early when it was first released. And they had, like, MTV had been advertising when it was going to be on. Like, it was going to be on at, like, 4:25 on, like, a Wednesday or something. And we, like, planned our entire day around seeing Weird Al's parody of Bad, and it was so great.
I remember being super, super little, like 3 or 4, and being obsessed about when they were going to re-air Do You Remember the Time? Because apparently it had like debuted before, but it had been a while since they showed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that feeling of just waiting to see an epic music video.
I'm glad that you've had that feeling, because that's not a feeling that people get anymore, because everything is just right there all the time. And I love that everything is right in front of me all the time, but it ruins like nobody's.
It's just like going to an old video store.
Yeah, I was gonna go with a record store, but yeah, it's like going to a video store or a record store and just finding like gold, you know what I mean? Like finding this record that you didn't know about and like buying it and taking it home and listening to it for the first time, or like a VHS tape you found at Blockbuster or something. Yeah. Like those feelings are gone, and that's kind of sad.
Oh, record stores are still around at least.
Yeah, that's true. But it's so easy to even like, if you're looking for a record or something, you can just find it online now. You know, there's no search anymore. I
gotta tell you, I went to a flea market a while back, and there was an $8 unopened Dickies record I still regret not buying.
Oh, you should have bought it. I love the Dickies.
I should have, but it was a really hot day, and I was going to walk around for a couple more hours, and I didn't want it to get damaged, so I just left it there and didn't go back.
God, you randomly surprise me all the time. I didn't know you were into the Dickies.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
So that can't hardly wait.
Well, no, I have one more note.
Okay.
So in these trying times, like maybe a relative died of COVID, or one of your relatives stopped talking to you because they're a QAnon and you're sad, just watch UHF. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're like Robert Ebert.
Well, I don't think we need to worry about him watching UHF ever again.
Oh, damn.
Bam.
Oh, wow. Drop the mic.
I know.
On the dead guy who can't, like, fight back.
For real, though, UHF is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I strongly dislike you.
It's just a type of humor that isn't here anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
At first, it was also unbelievable. Mike Dexter wanted to date me. I know why I started dating him. I just don't know why I did it for so long.
Well, he is the most dope guy in school. Yeah, and school's over.
Is party tonight? Amanda suddenly being single? It's fate. Fate has opened me a window.
You want
Gots to have sex tonight. It took me all day, but I narrowed it down to a list of 10 very lucky finalists. You know what I'm saying?
You have the Shermanator in the background.
Do you think there'll be any girls there? Are you kidding me? People may even be having sex tonight. Get that back away! I can outside kiss my ass! Have you seen Amanda Beckett? Yeah, imagine saw her now.
I'm thinking about asking her out, boy.
Oh, God, you're a hottie. I filled this with 7 bottles of vodka last September. It's been my friend.
That's not even in the movie.
Alright, so check.
Oh, yeah. That scene's not even in the movie.
Who does he think he is? Brad Pitt? And you're like Gwyneth, but with bigger boobs. Totally bigger boobs.
I like his
I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs!
Columbia Pictures presents an event 18 years in the making. When you find out who your friends really
I'll tell you after.
I don't think she's prettier than Gwyneth. Not even.
what your future really holds.
I am going to have sex with someone at this party.
And how one night can change your life.
I don't know about you, but I really believe that there's one person out there. And for me, it's gotta be Amanda.
There's a mirror right there. Why don't you take a look, okay? You're white.
Guys like us.
Well, they really
we are dying.
made that more dramatic for the trailer.
There is fate, but it only takes you so far because once you're there, it's up to you to make it happen.
Amanda?
Can't hardly wait.
Wishing has a winning play. Huntington, Huntington, hey, hey, hey!
Now, I was saying that in the scene where he's screaming, "I can't feel my legs," in the movie he says, "I have no legs." He says, like, what he...
How many times have you watched this?
A bunch. I mean, it probably not for 15 years until the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I do the same thing with the trailer for Love Potion #9. They completely changed that scene.
Isn't Scott Valentine in that? No, Kato Kaelin's in that.
Yeah. Scott Valentine is not. Can you imagine what it'd be like if Scott Valentine was in it?
Oh, it'd be amazing. Yeah, that
He
watermelon...
didn't even need to take the potion.
Every time that dude's in a scene in the movie... Oh, I wouldn't need the potion, you're right. But every time... I can't remember his name. I'm bad at this. Sorry, I'm trying to find his name real quick. It's not going to come up real quick because he was a nobody back then.
You are referring to Jason Segel.
Yeah, Jason Segel. Every scene he's in the movie, he's got watermelon. He's eating watermelon, and it seems like a stoner joke, like he's just eating food because he's hanging out with stoners. But this is the first I realized that he had filled a watermelon with vodka, and that's what he was doing the whole time. All right. Anyway,
they cut it.
So a little bit of context before we start. This movie was released in '98. I graduated high school. Well, I would have graduated high school in '96, but that's a whole nother thing.
That makes sense.
I am a high school dropout, everybody. And I encourage you, if you're in high school, consider doing the same, because high school is...
He's also... What? No.
Bullshit.
He's also a beauty school dropout, guys.
I am. Oh, he's credited as watermelon guy, too. Anyway, so I graduated, or I was supposed to graduate in '96, whatever. So this movie is kind of like, at the time, it was sort of giving me something I had thought I missed with the graduation night parties and all that, because I quit high school and I moved to the closest city to me I could get to, and I just started my life. I partied quite a bit for a very long time, but I didn't get to do the graduation night thing. It turned out to be good because a girl I went to high school with nearly burned herself to death.
Oh God.
They were starting a bonfire and she was too close and they used gasoline and she kind of blew herself up and died twice on the way to the hospital. She's okay now. You can't even tell. She's not got burns all over or anything, but so I'm kind of glad I missed that. But Can't Hardly Wait was kind of this thing that I thought I missed, if that makes sense. Even though it was...
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You miss major chapters, major rites of passage that everyone around you has had. It's something you kind of maybe long for, even if it's not realistic.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely kind of felt like I missed a lot of that stuff. It's also probably has a little bit to do with why to this day I'm still a huge fan of like teen drama and teen TV series. Like I'm watching Shadowhunters right now, which is terrible, but it's teen stuff. I like it. So imagine my disappointment when I go back and watch Can't Hardly Wait again and absolutely hate most of it.
Yeah, when you decided on this movie, I was like, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had it. It was just in this compartment in my brain where I keep movies like Say Anything, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, like any of those movies where by the end of it, everybody has everything figured out. You know what I mean? There's something so appealing to that. I assume it's because my life was so out of control for so long. Like,
you know what really? There were a lot of things that pissed me off about this movie. But real quick, one thing that pissed me off is the jock. They developed his character. They gave him character development and then just took it away at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I get what they were doing there. You know, I think it was maybe subverting that trope in a really, really crappy way.
Yeah.
You know, because that was a big thing in all those 80s party movies where, like, either the quote villains and the bad guys in those movies are either so over the top there's no redeeming them, or by the end of the movie, which is what happens in Sweet 16 or 16 Candles. I'm sorry. In 16 Candles, like the main character or the guy she falls in love with at the end, he's kind of played out to be a jerk most of the way through until she gets to know him.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe that's what they were doing with the jock, even though he did do something
good.
Is it good? Because he probably just ended up getting himself on the sex offender registry for that.
Well, still, his future was destroyed anyway, just for saving someone else from having a rotten future.
Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, Can't Hardly Wait is a party movie. It's very much of a specific time. It's very much the 90s. I mean, I have notes in here. Let me go through. Okay. I'm going to use some blue language here, Maddy. Is that okay?
Well, I'll just get... Where are my pearls?
Clutch them. All right. So my first note in this, in my page and a half, 2 pages of notes, is fucking Smash Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Then we go, about halfway through, fucking Smash Mouth. And then 311? Like, it's just all the 90s music that I hate. It's a terrible, it's a terrible soundtrack. But again, it's very much like everybody was listening to Smash Mouth in 311 except me.
Doesn't Smash Mouth have like 2 songs?
They have the one that's in that, which is Walking on the Sun, I think.
And then they have All Star.
All Star, yeah. I mean, they have more, but I can't imagine many people. Well, somebody must care about them. They're still playing. They just played, they got in a big controversy because they played that big motorcycle thing. Yeah. They played Sturgis Bike Week, whatever that's called. They played there, and everybody got all up in arms about it, which they should have. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You don't need to go see Smash Mouth right now. So yeah, this is very much a 90s party movie, complete with casual racism, homophobia, unfortunately. Like, it's all there. Everything that was okay then that shouldn't have been and is not okay now. And I'm okay with it not being okay now. It centers around Ethan Embry, who plays Preston Myers, who is in love with Amanda Beckett, which is Jennifer Love Hewitt, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt. He's got this letter.
They went too far with that character.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
No. Well, both of them, but him, go on about the letter.
No, we should stop and talk about Jennifer Love Hewitt for a second because I agree they went over the top on both of them, but with her, she's every scene, like, I can't tell if this was a choice she was making as an actress, I hope not, or if she was being directed to do this, but every scene she's like moving her like head in like this slinky sort of sexy, innocent kind of way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She never has a moment to just
be human.
Be human, exactly. She's just this pretty object the whole time. Yeah, that's exactly what she is. She's just a pretty object that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really like, yeah, maybe Ethan's feelings. No, they don't come from a place of. They don't come from anything real. You know what I mean? He thinks they had a moment because they ate the same Pop-Tart one morning. He spends his entire high school career obsessing about her while she dates the popular jock dude who obviously treated her like shit the whole time.
And there's a big difference between longing for someone and having a legitimate interest in them that's endearing and sweet and just being a stalker.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they pushed him quite as far as stalker. Like, he was definitely obsessed. And he was kind of stalky that night, but there's no real sign that, like, I mean, he obviously pined over her, like his friend Denise Fleming, played by Lauren Ambrose, who is fabulous in everything. I love her. There's a whole bunch of people from 6 Feet Under in this. Did you notice that?
I noticed a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's one of them. Yeah, so I'm sure he spent 3 or 4 years pining to his best friend about her, but it doesn't seem like he took it to a creepy level until the party night. And I love how she calls him out on it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to finish summarizing this movie?
No, it's a pretty stereotypical high school night movie. The best scene was the angel, like being a person.
Yeah, I love the only reason I'm watching Fear the Walking Dead still is because Jenna Elfman's in it. I love her, and she plays the wise stripper angel that gives him some very strange advice. But it works. Like, she's great in it. Like, her monologue about being in love with Scott Baio is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I also really love the nerd guy who wanted to go to that party and ruin that guy's life, which technically he did. Just him pretty much getting drunk and deciding that he enjoyed being at that party and being the kind of person he hated and actually having a good time. I loved that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great too. Well, that's the other thing. Like, there are so many people in this, like, so many characters in this movie. Like, I knew these people, you know what I mean? I think that was another one of the appeal. Like, I knew the white kid who was super into rap, like Kenny, cringily played by Seth Green. I knew the sort of artsy, jaded girl that is Denise Fleming. You know what I mean? Like, I knew all these people. And we even had an Amanda Beckett. We had, I always called them the slummers because they'd only occasionally come and party with us. You know what I mean? The cooler kids.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's another thing about this movie. And that was why I thought I'd still like it, because these were my people back in the day, but it didn't work for me this time. I blame Smash Mouth.
Can't get enough of you, baby.
Oh, well, see, that's another song. There's 3.
Oh, I thought that was also part of Walking on the Sun. Well,
no.
There we go.
No, that's the 3rd song. I'm embarrassed. I know that.
It was not the worst high school 90s movie I've seen.
It probably wasn't for me either, but I can't think of anything worse. Can you think of anything worse offhand?
Offhand, that's a little difficult. I would say Warlock 3, as far as 90s cringe goes, is a little worse.
Oh.
They weren't high schoolers.
I thought we were talking specifically high school movies. But yeah, Warlock 3 is definitely worse.
Yeah.
I have a note here that says you can never go home again. You can never go home again. You can't revisit stuff like this without that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. Even like childhood films I watched a million times, I'll revisit them now, and I get just hyper analytical about them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I examine each act of the film, and I'm like, oh, there were so many problems with this. Like, okay, I know it's a sin for a lot of people for me to say this, but Hocus Pocus is not that good. It's not.
I've never seen that from beginning to end.
It's a kid's movie, And for a kid, it's great, but when you're an adult and you start to, like, analyze all the acts, it's like, oh, no, this movie, it's not great.
I don't know, I think my mom watched it, like, 3 times this October.
Well, yeah, it's a Halloween tradition for a lot of people, and it hits all the points for Halloween. It's got witches, it's got Salem, it's got, like, a flashback to the past and a curse, it's got Halloween night, pumpkins, little Maine town with a fall setting, it's got a Halloween party. I mean, it's got all of it, including Bette Midler, but the writing's just not quite there.
Ah, gotcha.
It's kind of flat. And also, like, Billy Butcherson was a cool design and a likable character, but he had 5 minutes. He had, like, 5 minutes on screen.
This is lost on me, unfortunately.
But he was a zombie character that had a really badass design.
Oh, no, I do remember that zombie. I've seen it. And that was a really good design. You're right.
But, like, his screen time is so limited, and most of the time they're just running away from him, and then he has, like, 2 or 3 lines, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. So there are 2 things I do still like about this movie. Number 1, there's not really any fights. Like, there's that one thing when Seth Green's friends use the N-word to a bunch of people of color, and they chase them away.
Oh, God.
But even that doesn't...
His friends are the cringiest.
Oh, they're awful. But even that doesn't end in a fight. Like, I really dig the fact that they didn't need to, like, rely on violence or anything like that to further the plot, because so many of these movies, most of them probably have some sort of fight in them. This one doesn't.
Corey, there was a fight.
When?
There was a hissy fit when the band broke up.
Oh, that doesn't count. That's super cartoony. I mean, like, fist fight.
I did love seeing that one actor with, like, the, like, very, Victorian Lestat, like, lead singer outfit and the nail polish.
Well, even that band, like, I was in that band when I was, like, 15 years old, man. Like, I mean, I didn't wear the frilly stuff at that point in my life. I did wear frilly stuff at some point, but it wasn't during this band. But I was in a band that practiced a few times. We got a show at some girl's birthday party. We played it. We got into a fight on our 3rd song, and I quit the band. Like, I lived that moment. So, you know,
what did y'all fight about?
I don't even remember. I think we were just embarrassed that we thought we could do it, but we didn't actually know any songs very well. So we just got up there and were terrible. And I think, like, with most emotions in me, they turn into anger. So I think I just got pissed off and probably pitched a fit and left. I was a kid, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's so funny that, I don't know what's still funny. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, I can relate to that. What else? I really, really like, and I wish that they would have just kept this. I wish they wouldn't have done the whole train station thing. When he confesses his love to, I guess we should set this up a little bit. So at one point towards the last act of the movie, getting pretty close to that, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character is confronted by her ex-boyfriend who wants to take her back because he's like this big macho dude. And she says no and just gives him just completely eviscerates him in front of this entire party, just embarrasses the hell out of him.
I thought it was really weird that he did that after the conversation he had with the other guy out in the backyard, you know?
Why'd you think it was weird?
Well, it just seemed like he was starting to think and maybe change his mind about who he wanted to be, and then suddenly, no, he didn't.
Yeah, but not in the right way. He's thinking, what have I... that dude, Jerry O'Connell's character scared him. He's like, hey, man, your future is bad. Don't ruin it and leave this girl. You know what I mean? So, I get it, because that all came from, a place of fear when he did that, but he still had to be macho in front of all of his people when it wasn't going his way.
I will say that I love Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, I do, too.
Oh, I should have picked Joe's apartment. Gotta do that sometime.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. So yeah, he confronts her, and the whole party now knows that they're done forever. So, Jennifer's character has to go through this gauntlet of every character we have seen up until now, asking her out in more and more horrible, aggressive ways, until finally we get to Ethan Embry, who's like, Amanda, wait, I love you. And he runs down to talk to her, and you think it's all going to be okay. And then she just lets him have it and says, like, dude, you've been fantasizing about me for 4 years. What's wrong with you? You're a loser. Just all this stuff. If they would have left it there, I would have loved that. But they had to do the, like, happy kissy ending where he gets a later train, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I love her. That's maybe the only moment I like Amanda Beckett in the whole movie, when she goes off on Ethan Embry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what it sucks, though, is that, like, she's a likable actress. She's played roles where you really enjoy her performance.
Yeah, I loved Ghost Whisperer up until the last couple seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got weird, especially when the husband...
Yeah, that husband thing kind of lost me.
Yeah. They went in a weird direction.
Yeah. I wonder why they did that. Do you think that guy was, like, going to leave the show and then he decided not to or something? That's what it felt like to me.
I don't know. Maybe. Or they just decided, let's do something really out there and we're running out of ideas.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, yeah, when she had the kid and that whole Shinies thing, yeah, it got real bad. But the other thing that bugs me a lot about this movie is nothing happens the day after graduation.
Nope.
Even college graduate. Like, I work for a college. I've been to like 16 or 17, maybe even 20 graduations at this point of different places and stuff. And nothing ever happens the next day. If anything happens the next day, you're going home. You know what I mean? You don't go to a writer's workshop with Kurt Vonnegut the minute you graduate high school. So that bothered me a little bit, but that's nit. And I don't need to nitpick this movie for things that I dislike. I just dislike it.
You know, when they did the epilogue, or prologue? Epilogue? Prologue. Epilogue. When they did that, I was really disappointed that the nerd friends, like, it didn't have one of them, like, getting married to his model girlfriend, like she came down the next weekend or something. That would have been a funny twist.
Mm-hmm, it would have. You know, they're only credited as X-File, spelled Phile. X-File 1 and X-File 2.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty funny. I thought of something when I was watching it about those two, but I don't remember what it was now. I didn't write it down.
I thought they were going to confess their love for each other.
Yeah, it feels like that at times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it was 98. You can't have a functional gay couple without making it over the top horrible, so they couldn't do it.
All I know is that these guys had it the worst the whole movie. They had a shitty night.
I don't know. They seemed to have a good time up there. They took a nap. Yeah. They had a little fake lightsaber battle. They probably talked about a lot of really cool nerd stuff.
Waiting around for their friend who pretty much ditched them.
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way, but I mean, sometimes you got to make your own fun, Maddy.
Is that what you did, Corey?
No, because I sat there and watched this movie and took notes. I had no fun. I made no fun during this movie. So, what I was saying earlier, like, I love movies like this. I love TV shows like this because there's just this one really chaotic event. In this, it was the party. Like, everybody just goes through this mass chaos event, and when they come out the other side, everybody knows more about who they are. They've solved all their problems. There's something really appealing about that to me because my life has been so chaotic. I think sometimes I really want everything to just work out after like 12 hours of craziness. You know, I'm a realist. I know it never will, but
and it's great when there's a story that takes place in real time too.
That's true. It does. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what sucks going back and watching this is it's just, I didn't get the same feeling I got when I used to watch it. I think I have to revisit all my favorite party movies now.
It sometimes it's about the mood you're in too, so.
Yeah, that's true too. Oh, do I have anything else about this? I guess I'll look in trivia real quick. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Should we talk about Seth Green at all?
Oh, God.
Let me tell you what Ebert said about... Well, first, let me start what he said about Lauren Ambrose. This is the only paragraph in this short review that really says anything good about this movie. There's one character in Can't Hardly Wait who is interesting and funny. Maybe it was a mistake to write her in. She makes the other characters look like gnat-brained bozos. Her name is Denise. She is played by Lauren Ambrose, and she has a merry face, a biting tongue, and a sardonic angle on high school. Her classmates look like candidates for Starship Troopers or the Sports Illustrated swimsuit pictorial. So he liked Lauren Ambrose, but we go down towards the end when he talks about Denise again. This time he says, now take Denise on the other hand. She gets accidentally locked into the bathroom with Kenny, and this is the best possible way to say this. This is obviously an old man talking about kids. Who talks like a black rap artist, even though he's white, and wears goggles and thinks he's cool and will someday no doubt be a radio talk host.
Radio talk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ebert's just pulling stuff out of his ass for this.
Is that what he dreamed of being when he was 16?
Oh, I'd imagine so.
In 1909?
Yeah, that would be my guess, because that's all they had. Maybe he wanted to be the town crier. And even that character,
Suddenly, I'm sorry, I just pictured Alex Jones in the Middle Ages yelling, "They're turning the frogs gay!"
It would just be him calling everyone witches. Yeah, even Seth Green. I went to high school with a bunch of his characters, too. I didn't like very many of them. They were kind of just cartoon weirdos to me, but yeah, even they existed. And you know what? I will admit that I did have a couple of pairs of goggles. I didn't have bright yellow ones. I had, black ones. But They put
him in goggles in a lot of movies.
Yeah. Did he really?
Well, it just seems like you picture Seth Green in the 90s, you think goggles.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's go back and look. Maybe it was just this movie that's burned so deep in our brains, the idea of Seth Green and goggles.
Maybe. I gotta say, even though he was putting on a big show, very considerate, all the supplies he packed for his special night.
Yeah, that was really cringy as well. Just a backpack of sex toys and the pocket Kama Sutra.
And the candle.
Oh yeah, and the candle. That's I think the first time we get any casual homophobia.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, there was a background character that I really enjoyed who is an actor.
Okay,
and
all right, that narrows it down.
He's got red hair. Sorry, I'm trying to find him. It's the Shermanator from American Pie. I just can't remember what his name is.
Oh, yeah, the thief?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he was stealing shit everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious. Everyone, a lot in the background, his character is just, running around stealing stuff. It's so funny.
No one ever noticed.
Nobody even caught him when he stole the cop car, because you see him the scene later stealing a gumball machine. Dude, Clea Duvall was in this. This had a really good cast. Jamie Priestley.
Did. I wonder if it had a really good budget, too, because it looked like they were, saying, this is the final great teen movie of the 90s.
Well, I think they probably did. I mean, look, everybody in it is some sort of, Jennifer Love Hewitt had just probably that was Party of 5 Days, she was huge back then. Maybe Ethan Embry just got done doing Empire Records, maybe. I'm going back to see when Empire Records came out. I'm pretty sure it was before. He was in Disturbing Behavior?
Was he?
He's credited here. Yeah, he's a character named...
No, wasn't he a jock or something?
I don't remember.
I kind of think I remember him.
Empire Records was 95. And he had done, That Thing You Do, that was a big movie.
I like that movie.
People liked White Squall, too, I think. So, yeah, I mean, they had him. They had, Lauren Ambrose was big then, because I'm pretty sure that was around 6 Feet Under time. Freddie Rodriguez was in 6 Feet Under. He's there.
6 Feet Under was closer to, 2000.
Was it?
Yeah.
Check that, because I thought I was still in high school when I was watching that. You're probably right, but wow, I think that's the first time I've actually not argued with you and just said you were right. Ooh. So, 6 Feet Under was 2001. Yeah,
2001. Right. Yes, I was right.
I was technically an adult when that came out.
Because I was thinking it was following on the heels of, like, Sopranos.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, it was the same time. Sopranos was still going on then, too.
Yeah, but it was, like, in the later part of the Sopranos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those Can't Hardly Wait. Any other notes on it?
Nope. I don't think so. Let me check real quick.
If you're in the mood for a 90s teen movie that you haven't seen...
Pick something else. No, I don't know.
Go with Idle Hands.
Maybe this movie would be okay for people that are under 20. I don't know. Like, I feel like...
Is this gonna, like, decades from now, is it gonna be like how you do when you play, like, Gone with the Wind or something, where there has to be a little introduction that says it was a different time and cultural context?
I don't think it's quite that problematic. Because if we're doing that for this, we've got to do that for every 80s movie ever made as well. You know what I mean? Plus, I just don't think people care enough about this movie.
There was nothing offensive about Soul Man, Corey.
God, I can't believe you referenced Soul Man. I feel like we should do Soul Man eventually just to challenge ourselves to talk about that.
Oh, God.
Oh. Yeah, I've got nothing else. Yeah, I mean, watch Can't Hardly Wait if you want to. Like, definitely watch UHF, but Can't Hardly Wait, like, take it or leave it, man.
Mm-hmm. If you want to check out our blog, you can find us at hallow-holic.wordpress.com or hallow-holic.blogspot.com.
If you would like to ask us a small question, you may tweet us at Nowhere23 or by searching Hallow-Holics.
You can also email us for lengthier messages at hallow-holics@outlook.com.
I don't know what the man's doing today. He's threatening to repeatedly stub my toe unless I tell you to go to potpedia.org. Potpedia.org. Sorry, Podpedia, not pot.
He looks like he's eating a lot of watermelon, too. What's that about?
Oh, he filled it with the blood of his enemies. He told me before we started filming or recording. Yeah, you can find us at podpedia.org by searching our portal HHA.
Before we log off, our next episode, we're going to, I guess, do a tribute to Stephen McHattie.
Accidentally, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll be watching Pontypool and Dreamland. But which version of Dreamland?
The 2019 version starring him. He's not in all of them, but there are an odd number of movies called Dreamland out there.
That's an easy title.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you stay safe in 2021. Don't go marching in any capitals or...
Yeah, and, maybe don't go to the...
Smash Mouth.
Don't go to any Smash Mouth concerts, but maybe don't go to that thing. What is it called when you get a new president in?
Inauguration.
Yeah, that's it. Don't go to the inauguration, maybe. I've seen people on my Facebook talking about going, and it's just... If you don't get COVID, you're probably going to get arrested or beat up. And we don't want anything to happen to the tens of you that like us.
Yeah. And I know, you may be in Mongolia right now or Peru or...
You may not even be allowed to come to America.
But we like
We do.
And on that, we want to go out on... Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening.